S4HANA with focus on finance. And before I start with the content, this is a brief introduction about myself. My name is Kavita Agarwal, and by qualification, I am a CMA with the 7th rank at the national level, and I'm also CISA qualified, and I'm a certified SAP FICO consultant. I have more than 16 years of experience, wherein I have 4 years of hardcore experience in the accounting and the finance domain. And the rest of the years, I have worked in SAP arena, and where I have worked on multiple end-to-end implementations and rollouts, and I have associated with some very big names and as clients. Like I've worked with Apple, I've worked with Mars Chocolates, I have worked with Kraft Foods, I've worked with Dan Supermarktgruppen, and when I talk about end-to-end implementations, most of the implementations I've done in India for the Indian companies, and they were like end-to-end. Um, and I have also worked with Hershey's. So my major experience has been in the chocolate and the confectionery industry, because most of the big names like Mars, Kraft Foods, and Hershey's, etc., I have worked. So that's a brief introduction about myself. So before I start with S4HANA, I just want to let you know, I like this group which we have today. Some of you may be with the non-SAP background, some of you may be freshers in SAP, or some of you may be experienced in SAP looking for changes what SAP has introduced. So this course or this session today is basically for people who already have experience in SAP and who are looking for changes or the delta changes which SAP has brought in by way of S4HANA. So those who are SAP freshers or those who are from non-SAP background, if anyone is interested in SAP, they need to go through the SAP FI sessions first. And only when you go through them, then this course will make sense to you, because this is a delta change over the erstwhile SAP. So we will be talking all about what SAP has introduced by way of S4HANA. So in this course, we have divided the course basically into 6 modules. So the first module will talk about S4HANA overview. And the second will talk about the improvements in the line of business of finance. So as Senthil mentioned, that we will be focusing basically and more and more on finance in this. So it will be more focused on what are the changes brought by SAP in the finance side, and key functionalities like the changes in asset accounting, the ledger functionality, the renewed ledger concept, the data aging, or the central finance functionalities. All those things we will be discussing in the key functionality section. Deployment, key changes in the line of business of logistics. So that will be briefly touched upon in this module, and the key benefits. So this is not the scope of today's discussion. This is just an overview to give you like what S4HANA covers, the course in S4HANA. So this is how the course is divided. So do you have any questions as of now, or shall I proceed with the rest of the PPT? Okay, so I assume there's no question.
I think Kavita, it'll be very difficult to open, one-on-one questions now. So we'll reserve all the Q&A to the end so that we can unmute all of them and then we can jump in. So folks,
Sure.
I would suggest that you please have your questions listed because there are so many participants, and this could drag on forever if we start making the session interactive. We would love to make it interactive, but because it's more of a kickoff demo session, so we would let us go ahead and run through the presentation, Kavita, and then we will set apart 15-20 minutes or maybe even half hour for the Q&A session. How about that? Okay.
Sure, Senthil, I think that's better.
Thanks, Kavita. Please go ahead.
Okay, so now the question that comes to our mind is what is S4 HANA and why do we need S4 HANA? So let's take a quick look as to why is S4 SAP HANA essential to modern day business. So let us quickly compare between what was there earlier and what SAP HANA uh, offers us now. So in the earlier system, if you see, it was very complex because you had OLTP and then ETL and then OLAP and then the data after the processing, like you had the online transaction processing and then you had the extraction and replication, the aggregates and everything that used to run, and after that you used to get the data, and that data was actually 24 to 48 hours old data, so it was not on a real time basis. And then not only this, you had to do a lot of reconciliation to see that whether all the reconciliations or all the data has been pulled in correctly and everything is reconciling, so that the redundant data that got tied together by the ETL processes that kept business in a very reactive mode, and there was always the older data on which they had to deal with. But now with SAP HANA, where you have OLTP and OLAP all in a single instance, that is SAP HANA, and which is called as one in-memory platform, it becomes very, very simple and you get a real-time data to deal with. So in the earlier system, in the earlier system, as I mentioned, that there was a lot of reconciliation that used to go between one system and the other system, the extraction, the aggregation of the data, and the reporting. It was batch oriented, where you had a lot of jobs to be scheduled, and there was inherent latency in that there was a delay in the reporting and all, and the management had to wait for the business. Whereas in SAP HANA, it is real time. There's no more batch to be executed. There's instant access to any financial insight, and plus prediction and simulation. So SAP HANA makes it very, very simple because of the HANA database and also the simple data model that it has brought in. And the earlier systems, it was very inefficient because they were very inflexible structures. There were a lot of index tables, the summary tables and everything, and there were a lot of performance issues in the earlier system, which compared to the current SAP HANA database system, you have the columnar data storage. So that means it boosts the analytical performance and reduces the resource usage. So the size of the database and everything has reduced drastically. And right now in SAP HANA, you can report directly from the line item line item tables. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in reporting and also a lot of performance improvement. So that is the benefit of HANA, so which is known as one in-memory platform. That means you have everything in a single instance. And earlier, as you can see, everything used to happen in batches. The transaction processing used to happen, then the extraction, the replication, the aggregation, and then finally the data used to get reported, which was usually the older data, at least a 1 or 2 days old data used to get. But in the current system, real-time data you get because everything is in one single instance. You don't need any aggregation and no batch jobs to be scheduled. And the reporting is very, very simple. So that's one view of SAP HANA, which we wanted to give you through the slide, that this has become this simple. Now coming to the evolution process of SAP, all of you who are already working in SAP must be knowing that in 1979, SAP came up with R by 2, and in 1990, R2, and in 1992, it was R3, which was, of course, a major change in SAP's product evolution journey. And in 2004, it came up with ERP, and but in 2015, it came up with SAP S4 HANA, and that was a major transformation in SAP's product evolution journey, because it has just changed the way business happens today. It is a major transformation in the way the business can function with S4 HANA. So this is the evolution journey, and we are talking about S4 HANA now. What is S4 HANA? So basically, when we say S4 HANA, it stands for SAP Business Suite for HANA. And it is a next generation business suite. It is fully built on HANA and natively designed with SAP Fiori. So basically, it means that you can use Fiori for all your transaction processing and also reporting, and which is natively built with HANA database. And in the product evolution journey, Simple Finance was the first step towards S4 HANA. So all those who are in finance, they would feel really proud that finance was the first module which SAP brought in as towards S4 HANA. And S4 HANA offers further simplifications in the areas of logistics, which is known as simple logistics, in the areas of inventory management, procurement, MRP, HCM, etc. But the first introduction from SAP was for Simple Finance, and of course later on it introduced Simple Logistics as well. So what is S4 HANA? S4 HANA basically means SAP S4 HANA Finance plus S4 HANA Logistics. So both taken together is known as S4 HANA. And not only that, it also has a capability to collaborate with business or social networks like Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactors, Hybris, etc. So Ariba is basically a purchase platform. SuccessFactors is your employee management, and Hybris is e-commerce, and Concur is employee expenses. And S4 HANA is known as a legally new product. So it doesn't have it cannot be called as an extension of the erstwhile SAP, because it is legally a new product with a new code line. So basically what it means is that nobody can sue SAP for what is not, if any functionality which used to exist earlier is not present in the current system, because it is absolutely a new product, so it cannot be called as an extension of the previous product. And it is a next wave of innovation similar to the transition from R2 to R3. So the way SAP had gone from R2 to R3, so similarly now from ERP to S4 HANA, it's a new wave of innovation, because it's a major landmark milestone actually in the SAP's product journey. Now let us talk about the scope of S4 HANA. So first thing you know is that the database, earlier it used to be Oracle, so now it has to be HANA database. So that is the SAP HANA database, and on that the SAP Business Suite is installed, and on which you have S4 HANA and you have S4 HANA Logistics. So when you say S4 HANA, it has accounting. When you say S4 HANA Finance, it has accounting, the entire accounting module of SAP, that is the FICO. It has cash management and IBP, which is integrated business planning. And along with that, it has S4 HANA Logistics. So S4 HANA Finance, which comprises of accounting, CM and IBP, plus S4 HANA Logistics taken together is S4 HANA. Not only that, it also has the capability of talking to Ariba, Concur, and SuccessFactors on the cloud. So all these can be on cloud, and still SAP can talk to all of these modules. So this is what it means, that the underlying technology, the platform is HANA. The business suite with the new code line is installed on this. And then this is S4 HANA Finance plus new logistics solution, and the native capabilities to collaborate with various cloud factors like Ariba, Concur, and SuccessFactors totally is S4 HANA. Now, the question comes as to why we need S4 HANA. So let's try to understand that as to how it is benefiting business and how it is benefiting IT. So because, you know, business and IT are continuously in pressure, business to perform better and stand in the competition. And in order to do that, it always has a pressure on IT to give them the required capability to perform better. So let us take a quick look as to how S4 HANA benefits both. So now the business can run is simpler with the S4 HANA, because we have seen that the reporting capability and also to get connected to the various social networks and everything is possible with S4 HANA. So the business can run in a very simple way with S4 HANA, whereas it had a lot of complex OLAP and OLTP and extraction and reporting from index and summary tables and everything, and the batch processing of data, everything was there. But with S4 HANA, it has become very, very simple. And it has extensive global and industry functionality. That means whatever IS solution was there in the erstwhile SAP, that is also possible on S4 HANA. So all the IS solution that was there earlier, that is also possible on S4 HANA. Not only that, it can connect to various B2B networks, that is business to business networks. And like we spoke about Ariba, Concur, and Success Factors on cloud, so it can speak to them, and like it is like one common platform on which various parties can come, and it can function. So and the business can be conducted. So it becomes very easy to talk to and interact with various people on one common platform. So that gives a lot of flexibility in executing the business processes and taking decisions. Similarly, as we discussed, it has streamlined processes, simpler and fewer steps, which we will see in one of the videos that I will be showing you in the subsequent slides, that how SAP, with the use of Fiori, it has become so simple, whereas earlier there were a lot of steps to be executed and a lot of transaction codes to be executed. Now, reporting and insight has become on the fly, because as I mentioned and we spoke in the previous slides, that there are no more batch jobs to be executed and no more reporting from the summary tables are to be done. So on the fly from the line item tables, you can extract the reports, and you can and the reporting is possible for the management. Real-time data and decisions can be taken with S4 HANA. Because the data is not like 1 or 2 days old, it is real-time data, so real-time decisions can be taken. Similarly, for IT, it has become very innovative, and it has for IT also it is less TCO. TCO is the total cost of ownership. So why we say it is less TCO? Because the data is quite compressed. In subsequent slides, we will see that the size of the database has gone down drastically with S4 HANA, and that makes the management and of the infrastructure and all the data quite easy. And with infrastructure also, we will see that earlier there were multiple instances, like for warehouse management you had a separate instance, but now SAP is trying to bring everything on a single instance, and that is the goal of SAP, that they want to bring all the instances on a single platform. And whereas earlier we had different systems or instances for different modules. So this is what SAP is trying, that it is trying to simplify the infrastructure also, which reduces the cost of ownership of the for IT team also. Smooth user experience and embedded analytics and big data. So a lot of analytical reports are already embedded, and you can easily execute them and do a data reporting. The performance is also 7 to 10 times faster. We have already discussed that. And mobility, which is one very key factor in S4 HANA, is that you can access your system, because the size is drastically reduced. You can access it either from a computer, a laptop, or a tablet, or a mobile device as well. So it has become that simple, and that is why we do say that on the fly you can report and you can do a lot of activities which earlier it was not possible. Now in this slide we shall see an example of accounts payable. Say like, first of all, let us assume that we are in the earlier system and we are posting an accounts payable journal entry, wherein we have two line items for the expense and one line item for the vendor. So in that, whenever you post that transaction, basically what all tables that posting will update, and what all tables will get updated, and what all tables will get inserted. So it will give you a quick look as to how simple the updates or the inserts have become with S4HANA. So earlier, you know that you have the SAP FI tables like BKPF, BSEG, and wherein all these BKPF, BSEG, of course, they used to get updated. And if you had debtors, BSID and BSAD used to get updated. If you have GL, BSIS, BSIK, so all these tables, and for the summary tables, GL, T0 and all, and for CO tables also, COBK, COEP and COSP, they all used to get updated. But with S4HANA, we will see that now only these tables are getting updated. So one is the BKPF, which still remains, that is the header table, and AC Docker, which is the new table which got introduced. So all these tables which used to get updated earlier is now no longer needed. So with SAP Finance, with aggregates and indices, you see if you had 10 inserts and 5 updates over here in the earlier SAP ECC system. But with SAP S4HANA Finance, you have only 4 inserts and you have 0 updates, because you have no indices, you have no aggregates, and you have no redundancies. This is the beauty of S4HANA. This has become this simple. We were talking about how the database size has reduced. So let us take a look at the traditional database size, which was 593 GB. But when you go on HANA, this simply comes down from 593 GB to 119 GB. Okay, this is because of database compression plus columnar storage and OLAP and OLTP merger. So with all of these things, which is with only HANA database, the database size comes down drastically with 119 GB. And if you take a further look, if you install S4 HANA, this comes down to 42 GB. And that is possible because of the simplified data model. And after data aging, now you must be having a question as to what is data aging. This is nothing but part of data archiving. So if you have data archiving in place, the data size further, database size further comes down from 42 GB to 8.4 GB, which can be accessed through a mobile device as well, because now in smartphones you have database size of 32 GB and 16 GB, and also you can easily access it through your mobile device as well. So all this gives you lower TCO, higher flexibility, and simple and tiny. Now we will see a video now, which I will show you, which will tell you that, just give me a minute. So basically, which will show you that earlier how much time you used to take to execute a simple transaction, and now with S4 HANA, what kind of user experience you will have. So it will be with Fiori. So let me just give you a demo of that video.
SAP Simple Finance, powered by SAP HANA, helps finance departments better manage collections and disputes, streamline billing, and reduce customer credit risk all in real time to lower days sales outstanding and reduce bad debt write-offs. To demonstrate just how much more efficient the new SAP Fiori user experience in SAP Simple Finance makes financial management processes, here's one scenario for receivables management. For this scenario, business users were asked to complete common business tasks twice, once using the SAP GUI and once using the new SAP Fiori user experience. Both sessions were recorded and displayed side by side on one screen to compare processing time, clicks, screen changes, and fields filled. Let's have a look at how a cash collection specialist benefits from the new user experience that combines analysis and action in one application. Our collection specialist is calling customers to collect overdue receivables. He's working through a system-provided list of customers to be contacted today. The list is automatically sorted based on rules. Beginning at the top of the list, the collection specialist starts his calls. First, he needs to see when this customer was previously contacted. With the SAP Fiori user experience, he sees the contact history right on his screen. Then he calls the customer and reminds him about the payment due. And in doing so, he learns that the customer has an issue with one invoice, so the collection specialist creates a dispute case to document this. With the simple user interface, he can enter all the necessary data quickly. For example, thanks to SAP HANA, the type ahead search helps him to assign the right processor in 2 seconds. With another 2 clicks, he attaches a document to the dispute case. With the optimized user experience that's tailored to the way he works, our collection specialist is already finished. As you can see, if the collection specialist had used the SAP GUI, this process would have taken much longer. Let's fast forward the video. With SAP Fiori, the collection specialist completes the task easily in just 47 seconds, with 11 clicks, 2 screen changes, and 2 fields filled. With the SAP GUI, the process takes more than 2 minutes, with 39 clicks, 8 screen changes, and 5 fields filled. Thanks to the SAP Fiori user experience and SAP Simple Finance, the results are impressive. A 64% reduction in the duration, 71% reduction in clicks, 75% reduction in screen changes, and 60% reduction of fields filled.
Yeah, so hope that gave you a good experience, like how Fiori helps, and with S4 HANA, like the duration, the clicks, the screen changes, and the number of fields that you filled in. So this is what S4 HANA gives you. So what you executed in SAP using SAP GUI was 2 minutes 12 seconds, whereas you completed the same transaction in 47 seconds with SAP Fiori, and the percentage reduction in time is 64%. Similarly, the number of clicks that you have to give in SAP GUI is 39, whereas with Fiori it is only 11 clicks. Similarly, screen changes are 8, but it is all combined in a single screen, so only 2 screen changes were needed to complete all those activities which you did over here, and that is 75% reduction. Similarly, the fields that you need to fill were 5 over here, and here it was only 2, so that is 60% reduction. So that is simplified process and increased efficiency which you get from S4 HANA. Okay, so this is again the same demonstration that this is an accounts receivable. This is so if you have to execute, there are several transactions which you need to execute in SAP GUI, whereas with SAP Fiori, you get everything in a single screen. So now, the 3 core value propositions which SAP S4 HANA talks about is simple user experience that we saw from the Fiori demonstration, simple business solutions, and simple data model. We saw all of these things, and this is what S4 HANA gives us. So it has a huge and tremendous capability which every business is trying to explore today. Basically, every business is now looking forward to move on S4 HANA. So all those clients who are already on SAP and all those clients who are not even on SAP are they all want to know about S4 HANA. They want to move towards S4 HANA to remain in the competition in the business and get benefits of all these things. So with that, I come to the end of S4 HANA session. And I'm open to take questions if you have any.